we will definitely not shut up and dribble.
The champ is here. I must be the greatest. The champ is here.
I'm going to continue to stand with the people.
The champ is here.
I will not lose.
I'm a bad man. I took up the world.
Yes, welcome. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with we. My name is EJ, and I got my man,
MH.
Cheers. He is the DB of the show, sipping on some Merlot. Hey, we're Black and Sports, giving you a voice of the culture that won't shut up and dribble. Today, we're bringing you back inside the locker room where we talk about topics in and around the game. MH, you ready to do this?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. So today, we're going to talk about Christmas came early, right? Like, it is the birth of the new season. So the 2021 NFL football schedule came out today, and let's just wrap through it, man. So initial reactions from you, MH, what you think?
I had forgot that the schedule was supposed to come out today anyway. It's kind of funny how the Shield does a great job of trying to hit all the off-season months to get some kind of talk about the NFL. So.
And we still need to do that. So we still need to do that because, like, the Shield is killing them. So it was early enough. You probably seen that. We both love the herd. But Colin was talking about that they own 11 of the 12 months out of the year now, more so, right? Because some topics that we're going to get into. But he was just kind of going, like playoffs are in January, right? So that's playoff time. Then February, Super Bowl.
Right.
March is free agency. April is the draft. May schedule release now. That's going to be a thing. What was the other things? Oh, so training camp. So, now NFL coverage starts talking about rookie camp and all that in July. They give June, they have off. That's the only month they have off. It's like, hey, y'all, go chill out, go be with your family. But July, we're getting right back into it. August is preseason, and then September through December is the season. So, like, totally owning 11 of the 12 months out of the year.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I know the NBA really does a good job in June, because it's usually when the finals is.
Right. Finals, playoffs.
So baseball, we got to pick it up in June because July is usually the All-Star game for baseball. So
yes,
June is up for grabs a little bit. So
June, somebody need that, maybe the XFL. Is that where the XFL is going to make their mark?
Yeah, okay.
the Rock.
You know how I feel. Yeah, you know how I feel about that. SummerSlam.
All right,
SummerSlam in June.
The NFL made today like a really big thing. I know I was excited because I did forget as well because I thought it was released last week, but then I started seeing more of the promos and things like that for today, and the network spent 2 hours. Like, it was like a big to do. So ESPN did a 2 hour. The NFL Network did a 3 hour special, just like releasing the schedule and have different talks. Now I was mad. I was watching ESPN one, and they had Monday night. They had the Monday Night Crew doing it, and I was just like, oh. I'm like, I'm not a Monday Night Crew anyway. I love Louis Reddick as an analyst. Like, I need him to be in somebody's front office. I'm not really on his commentary, and that whole crew. They just don't have a gel or flavor yet. And I know they're still figuring that out. But of course, then you turn over to the NFL Network, and you got Michael Irvin. He's just, they need 3 hours just for him to get out what the hell he's talking about. So, but no, they definitely did it different. They had their shows live in a SoFi Stadium, so they just did a whole big production about it. The roof was lit up and all that good stuff. Yeah,
I didn't see really any of the telecast, honestly, but I'm sure NFL Network went in, and I'm sure Michael Irvin was sweating and geeked about the Cowboys.
It was
schedule.
turned up, very turned up.
Yeah.
So, a couple of ways we can do this, man. This is definitely just going to be a quick recap because I want to only focus on a couple teams. So, let's just start with the home team, right? Let's start with the Raiders.
Sure.
Did you have a chance to look at their schedule?
Yes, sir.
What jumped out for you on them?
I mean, obviously the home opener is pretty cool because it's a Monday night game. You get Lamar Jackson and the Ravens in Las Vegas.
Right.
I thought that was cool. And then, you go further down the list into, September, week 3, September 26th, the Raiders play the Dolphins. And you know how that game ended last year, kind of on a last-minute thing, but you kind of get a stage, get to reassess and what do they say, the scene of the crime or something like that, kind of like the bulletin board type of thing.
Absolutely, return to the scene of the crime, right? That's
yeah. There you go, Coach. And then, and then obviously, I mean, the Thanksgiving Day game.
Oh, okay. So we can jump to that. That was a whole topic. So
yeah,
let's jump to that, right? So the Thanksgiving Day festivities is absolutely crazy and amazing, right? So
yeah.
I'm still not a fan of 3 teams playing. I'm still getting used to that, right? Because it's almost like I get it, but we're on the West Coast, so that first game.
Well, the Lions don't count. So
the Lions don't count. So it's kind of like, okay, we're gonna give y'all something, but y'all, and like they always say, you can tell by the time slot, right? So the Lions play. Who did they play? Oh, they played Chicago, right? So all right, whatever. That's that game. And then the third game is who is that? I had this stuff wrote down. Oh, Buffalo and New Orleans. So it's just like, good potential good games, right? Like they could have storylines behind them. Come Thanksgiving, we'll see. Come Thanksgiving, Justin Fields should be playing, right? Come Thanksgiving, if he's mature and he gets through the process, and then we'll either know Jameis Winston or Teletubby. What's the big dude's name for them Saints?
Taysom
Hill, Teletubby, all the same. So you'll see, that matchup. But prime time, right? Like, what play do you want at this time when the game comes on?
When the varsity starts, or which game are
prime time? Talking prime time. What else? If I say prime time, you know what I'm talking about. So Raiders versus Dallas is the second game, which is the prime time.
Yeah. I mean, usually Sister Hayes is probably poking her feet around for the Lions game. I should say that. I say that with all due respect, because she's gonna hear this and be like, "Oh, okay." Nah. No, yeah. No, we usually have to hold out until kind of like the end of the the Lions game, and then the Cowboys game is where you don't want to eat too much because you don't want to go to sleep in the second quarter because you ate too much, right? But if the Cowboys are not
sleeping game, now hopefully this is.
It doesn't really matter. Once the macaroni and cheese. I mean, it don't really matter what's going on. But hopefully, the Cowboys are still in the game in the second quarter. Otherwise, you kind of go back to the second play. You just go to sleep for the rest of the game. You don't even see the third game. That's sweet potato pie. That's sweet potato pie in bathroom breaks.
Absolutely. So, I mean, staying on the Cowboys, you guys open up with first, they'll be happy. It's like the return of Dak, which is dope, right? But you guys go against the Super Bowl champs. So it should be a really dope matchup because a lot of people, they talk about coming off of Super Bowl. You have that Super Bowl hangover, and, Dak's got something to prove. The offense should be, heck, Zeke has something to prove too. So that should be a really good game. Any predictions?
Yeah, I'm just happy. I'm happy to see the Cowboys not play the Giants week 1. I feel like they played the Giants week 1 for the last 10 years. And I know Jerry Jones was happy to get that opening, that Thursday night opening day game.
Of course he was. And then that's another thing's different. It's not a doubleheader like, they were doing the opening week, which I like that too, right? Once again, West Coast, the game starts at like 2:45. And it's like, man, I'm not watching on the phone.
It's definitely an early kickoff, but we're going to really see how Tom Brady feels, to start the season. We'll see what's going on.
I did skip over this. Should I ask what's your prediction for the Thanksgiving game? Who you going for? The home team or your Cowboys?
Not on duty.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, Yeah, I'll just watch the game.
There you go. There you go. Rounding out the Raiders, they have four primetime games? So what? 2 Monday nights, a Sunday night, and was it a Thursday? I'll pull it up. But yeah, a lot of primetime games. Yeah, okay. A lot of primetime games. And then, of course, they play both of our teams. So we get them a little earlier in the year. So they go, it's Raiders go down. Second week. Mm-hmm. So it's the return of Big Ben. We got Juju Smith. So, he may be doing his little TikTok routine. He may have a new one, new season.
There's a couple new songs out.
Right. So we'll see what he flex on them.
She can make it clap, clap, clap. Yeah, he'll be doing something, Draco or something.
So that's all I got for the Raiders, man. Anything else stick out to you?
No, exciting. It's obviously there's an excitement about having across the league about the possibility of having fans in the stands. So obviously the stadium being new here, that's all exciting. So
I guess that's some of the things that the moniker. Since you didn't really kind of get into the festivities of watching the game, they were really selling this as the NFL schedule release. This is the best, biggest season ever, right? And it's like how are y'all? I thought they was like pumping me. I'm like, y'all trying to sell a dream, but it technically is the biggest season ever because they're adding one game. Like I didn't get that until like someone had to break that down to me.
Good catch.
Right, like okay, you guys. Someone gets a bonus in the marketing team on that one, right?
Yeah.
So it is the biggest season ever, with the addition of it's 18 weeks or 17 games, and then we get 2 more Monday Night Football games. So that's dope, right? Because it extends the season.
I mean, I guess. I mean, you didn't really have glowing reviews about the crew of Monday night.
I could mute the game as long as it's a good game on TV because a lot of people do that with Chris Collins on Sunday night anyway. So,
I don't watch him. I don't listen to him. So, good point.
So, long as the games are match up, and I mean, even like the Thursday nights, they've been really putting those matchups together just to step it up. All right, let's jump to your Cowboys. I didn't see anything special about that, so we don't really need to spend too much time on the Cowboys.
What do you mean you don't need to spend too much time on the Cowboys?
I mean, when we talked about
you can't just gloss over them like that.
I mean, we did. Like we talked about the opening game. That's dope, right? So Thursday night game, starting the season with a tough game against Tom. What else you guys have on here? Yeah, that's about it.
On Halloween. I think last week we were talking about the draft, and I liked what the Vikings did. So seeing them, it can get spooky on Halloween to see what happens there. So they play them October 31st. The Cowboys got just a normal schedule.
I'm looking.
Obviously, it's interesting because they have to play both of the participants in the Super Bowl this year. So obviously they got the Buccaneers to start, and then in November they play at the Chiefs, and they got to play at both of their facilities as well.
So you're saying like 2 losses there, and then with Washington, those.
With
their defense with Washington, their defense, man.
What's that Snoop meme?
Yo,
get out of here. Yeah.
Falcons. I mean, New York has, I don't know. It's always a matchup. So what do you think wins wise? I'm looking right now. You gave a prediction before.
I said I was a little aggressive before.
Oh, shit.
But I really think the Cowboys, first of all, they're going to win the division, the NFC East. They're the best team in that division, as long as they stay healthy. That's the key.
That's a stretch. Okay.
It's a stretch about health.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Being the best team. Okay. Yeah. Let's not talk crazy here. Yeah, they clearly the best team. If we're just looking at portfolios and just rosters, if we're just looking at rosters, they're the best team. Okay, but anyway, back to the prediction. I'm thinking the Cowboys are a solid 12-5. I give them 5 losses.
12-5. I'm writing that down.
It's weird. That extra game, you can't even throw the numbers out right. I got to get used to that extra game.
That extra one. Got you.
Yeah, but 12-5. Yeah, carried it. That's 18 games. 12-5.
All right.
12-4. 12-5. 17 games. Yeah, 12-5.
So let's move on to.
No. Hold on. Let's before we get there. What's the Steelers? What's the Steelers record?
Man. So Steelers has the toughest.
Oh
man!
Come on! Steelers had the toughest schedule. Man.
That's what when you're that pedigree. People. We started off 11-0, and just every year except for last. It's just tough. It's like a target on your back, and like our symbol actually looks like a target. You know what I mean? So it's just we were rated like if you actually do
just on one side though. Just on one side, you can shoot at the other side.
Other side, right?
Yeah.
So we got to just walk one way. But no, seriously, toughest schedule. I mean, we start with Buffalo, right? So Buffalo, they got the Ben 2.0 is what they, kind of project them. And then, Vegas comes, they're going to give us a run for our money. Cincinnati. I mean, just Green Bay, unless they don't have Rodgers. But, I mean, Green Bay with Rodgers. Denver, we should get that win. Seattle's always going to be a battle. Cleveland is just, they've beaten us to get to the playoffs. Like I had a serious conversation when I was down in Cleveland with the draft, and like Cleveland fans are becoming the new Cowboys fans, like not being realistic about things. So I had to have that conversation, and like they feel because they beat us, it was like winning the Super Bowl for them last year.
In the playoffs, it wasn't just like week 3 of the season. They took y'all to the banquet, right? It had equipment check in on Tuesday. Yeah, you guys were at the off-season banquet. So yeah, I mean,
weird season, And I listen, we didn't take them seriously, and we know what it was. All right. So anyway, it's just tough, and then like always on the back end of our schedule, right? It's go Cincinnati, Baltimore, Minnesota, Tennessee, Kansas City, Cleveland, Baltimore. Like that's a hell of a gauntlet, and we have an early bye week. So I'm hopefully optimistic. I hope that the off-season yoga that Ben practices and, his, he's got Juju back, and maybe Juju's in a whole nother mindset that, we changed the perception, and we just come at some people. I'm not going to put a number out there yet, but I know we do have the toughest schedule, and that's hard to overcome. But we got a great coach, got a great organization. So we hopefully have that come together. It's definitely going to be a winning season, so even if it's 9-8.
God, I'm not.
But we hesitated on rebuilding because we let our people walk off into the sunset, and we don't pick our back. We don't have a Green Bay situation, right? So I'm hopefully optimistic right now, and it's too hard to tell, preseason. That's what I'm going with.
Yeah, there's a lot of logic in your talk. A lot of logic. We'll just call it that.
No, hey, we'll call it that. BS logic, whatever.
Logic, yeah.
All right, so the return of overseas games, or at least one. So we're going back to London. NFL is not going to Mexico City. COVID's still rampant over there, which is funny that was what they said. Like the pandemic's still not happening over here, but the two London games are week 5 and 6. So
who does the London games?
Why can't I read my writing? Oh, New York Jets versus Atlanta in week 5, and then week 6 is the Dolphins versus the London Jaguars, because they should just might as well relocate to London, because they've gone to London almost every year that we played over in London with the Jaguars. So that should be a decent matchup though. The Miami versus Jags.
Yeah, do you think your boy's still going to be on the roster, on the Jaguars roster by then?
Tim Tebow, he can't even get signed. He was supposed to be signed the other day, and they're still arguing about signing him.
Oh, it's not official yet?
It's not official yet. It was supposed to be official today. And
the locker room's already lost.
It's already a wrap.
Coach has already lost the locker room. So,
but the thing about it, man, is like coach has been making a couple missteps, right? Like, there's some bringing Tebow in, right? Was that the right decision? What was your means and motive, right? There was some talk about like they brought Tebow in because he wants to get more money as a retired player. So he gets more money if he's there for 4 years versus 3 years. And all he has to play is like 4 or 5 games for it to be 4 years. Bringing in the one coach that had the racial issues, right? So having a little too much bad talk. Then your quarterback comes in talking about, I don't have to play football. I just do it. It doesn't define me, which is cool. I think you say that like after you ball out because it's like coming in a new job, like. You just hired me as a VP of, marketing, but I like, day trading, what I'm saying, on E-Trade. Like it's an attitude that a lot of that surrounding when you're supposed to be starting a new franchise and you're supposed to be going upward. There's a lot of negative bumps. So hopefully they can get that together.
Yeah. Irvin came in walking like Vince McMahon, like chest all out. So
like he can do no wrong.
Yeah, he's showing everybody who's in charge, but we'll see.
So a couple other things, man, that quickly was pointed out. Steelers they do have the hardest schedule. If I didn't iterate that before, I want to make sure I put that out there. Second is Baltimore, as far as how the rating was. And then the lowest on the totem pole was the Eagles, which I'm going to call BS on myself because all of that's from what the ratings were last year, right? So there's no logic to what they're going to be this current year, but just schedule basing off historic events, those teams were the hardest, and those are the ones that are on their schedule. Anything else for another couple of announcements, I thought kind of like the draft thing for you today, not the draft, the schedule release for you. I forgot that the Pro Bowl is coming here. So they announced a Pro Bowl is going to be February here in Las Vegas, and then the Super Bowl is 2 weeks later in LA. But it's funny the date of the of the Super Bowl this year. So dude's gonna have to really make sure Valentine's Day is really set up right because the Super Bowl is on February 13th. So I'm trying to do that boys trip to go to the Super Bowl. You got to make sure wifey happy before you take off.
Yeah, she got to understand that. So, that's part of it. She got to understand her side too, her man as well. So it'll be all right.
Well, that's what you hope.
It'll be all right.
That's what you hope. Well, that's all I got, man. You got anything else for the people?
No, when it comes to the schedule, I think I shouldn't say no, but when it comes to the schedule, the thing, and without me really breaking down each team's schedule, the thing that I always kind of look at is who's playing the most, whose bye week is the earliest. So where people's bye week sits. You have an extra week now. So who's playing road games late in the season, particularly road games in like
travel. Far apart, like East Coast,
across the country, East Coast, West Coast, weather, those type of things. Those are the kind of the underlying things that, you don't really talk about when the schedule is released. But as you kind of see the schedule and, you have your fantasy team and then you like, dang, this team got 3 road games in a row in December and 2 of them are, below 20, weather. That can kind of change a lot of things when it comes to the schedule, particularly as teams get kind of closer to the playoffs. And then, what teams are positioning themselves for the draft, the following year, what teams are still trying to win. Those are always those interesting things that you can't really tell now because games have been played that kind of plays out. So we'll see.
We'll definitely see. And injuries, like you said, is a big factor. So they do have that extra game in there. And the other thing that I noted was they had 3 preseason games, but they were TBD. You think all of those are going to make it, or these guys going to kind of start arguing? And they're still striking whether they need to come to what is it? Training days right now. They're still voiding.
Yeah, what the off season is for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a lot that goes to that. I don't know about the preseason. There's some coaches that believe in it. Probably most coaches believe in it.
Right.
There's even probably some players that are right on the border of, whether you have an NFL career or, you just kind of have to find a 9 to 5 that probably want to play some preseason games. And then there's another wave of players that are probably like, I can do without the preseason games. So we'll see.
We definitely will see. Well, hey, hope you guys enjoyed the show. Hope you look at your team schedule and happy start marking what games you're going to make it to. I know we've already identified some games we want to make it to, maybe some live
on location.
Absolutely. So please share the show. Follow us on all of our social media platforms, and just know we be safe, practice gratitude, and we're rooting for you.
Hey, EJ.
Screaming.
Yo, what else?
Cut it real quick, man.
You got it.
Hey, this is something that has been on my heart, and I think this is the reason why we do this show. Colt Brennan, I know recently in the news, he passed away. He's a quarterback for University of Hawaii, played with the Washington football team for a little bit, and then kind of fizzled out of the league. But one thing that was interesting to me with this, man, is that Colt Brennan hasn't played in Hawaii for, I don't know, it's been over near 10 years, right?
Like that.
Yeah, it's been a while. And then, when things like this happen, when you don't really know what's going on, it's usually that former player kind of headline that dies. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I think a big part of the reason why we do this show is that, hey, yes, Colt Brennan was a top-of-the-line quarterback 2006, 2007. But there was a lot of life to this young man outside of just the pads, right? And maybe something that we didn't know, or maybe something that we did know, right? But I think it's important for us, especially black men, is that, hey, yes, football is a part of life, but that's not everybody. That's not the entire man, right? That's a part of this athlete's life, but it's not an entire man. That's somebody's son. That could be somebody's father. That's somebody's brother. That label of just former player just kind of, I don't know, kind of. Yeah, it's different, right, man? So I think it's great, what we're building, what we started to highlight what people are outside of the pads and outside of the lines and off the court, just as people. Right. Because people are people. And what we do is just, that's a sentence to what our life is, but that doesn't define us as a human being. So I think it's big, man. I didn't mean to cut off the end, but it pressed on my heart because I actually got to play Colt Brennan. Mm-hmm. And I'd be damned if somebody said Miles Hayes, former Northern Colorado, passed away if something were to happen tomorrow, because I think there's much more to my life than just, backpedaling 15 years ago. You know what I mean? Absolutely. And I think it's big that we're helping get people's stories out with this platform, because I think it's huge.
No, it's representation matters, man. And being able to tell a full story, man. Greatly said, man. Anything else for the people?
I'm good, man. I'm sorry, bro.
You're good, man. It was a message that needed to be said, man. So just remember, we are rooting for you.
Screaming, all us blacks got is sports and entertainment until we even.
Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. Yeah. Yeah. Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. Yo. Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. Spent about 2 racks on handmade new rags. Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. That's everybody from sports to college class to rap and back.